Hi, my name is Michaela Wilhelm, and I will be discussing colors in various types of films for MC440. To begin, I wanted to show the categories that I will be discussing of what colors used to portray. And those categories are establishing environments, establishing character prominence to storylines, signaling changes, usually in main characters that are either internal, external, or environmental, and then also talking about the aesthetic purposes of colors. To begin, I want to talk about establishing environments. You can establish temperature with colors, which goes hand in hand with showing weather or climate in a setting. Warm colors such as red, orange, yellow, and pink can show a sunny, hot, dry, and warm um, temperature, where cooler colors such as dark greens, purples, and blues can show a colder, icy, snowy, rainy environment. You can also show an urban or rural setting. Urban settings usually have more blues, grays, and purples because of their infrastructure and architecture. And then rural environments usually have more greens and browns, and even sometimes more reds because of the nature aspect of it. And then you can also establish certain moods. A few examples are dangerous versus safe. Dangerous situations have vivid yellows or bright reds to show that there's danger, and safer scenarios have a more mild color scheme that is more normal. And you can also show comedic versus serious situations. Comedic movies usually have a brighter color scheme, and serious movies usually have a darker, flatter, gray toned color. Twilight, which is a 2008 romance drama film directed by Catherine Hardwicke, um, shows a good example of atmospheric colors.
I'd rather hear your theories.
I have considered radioactive spiders and kryptonite.
It's all superhero stuff, right? What if I'm not the hero? What if I'm the bad guy?
You know what you are? Your skin is pale white and ice cold. You don't go out into the sunlight.
Say it out loud. Say it.
Vampire.
Are you afraid?
No. This isn't real. This kind of stuff just doesn't exist.
Does in my world.
So you could tell that the majority of the movie from the trailer is shot with a cooler green-blue filter to show the rainy, dreary atmosphere of Forks, which is the setting. You could also tell it is more of a rural area due to the nature and the greens and browns used repeatedly. Moving on, I chose to discuss character prominence next. This is usually main characters, and colors can show the significance of a character to the plot, and you can reveal more about their personality. And this is done through a few different color schemes. You can have an inverse color scheme, where it's the opposite of others around them. So if the main character, for example, is wearing a green shirt and red pants, those around the character be wearing a red shirt and green pants. Completely opposite. And then you can also have a complementary color scheme where the main character's clothing or items contrast the background or other characters. For example, you could have a blue background and the main character could be wearing an orange jacket. And then you can also have a vibrance or hue shift, where their color does not match the intensity or hue of those around them. So if you have a main character that has a bright, lively, loud personality, you can have them wear an electric pink shirt, and then those around them can be wearing a powder pink shirt or shirts to show that personality trait about them. A good example of this is a scene from The Tourist, which is a 2010 film directed by Florian Henkel von Donnersmarck. It is a romance thriller. Johnny Depp plays Frank, who is an American tourist who gets caught up in a romance with Angelina Jolie's character, who is part of the government trying to catch the notorious Alexander, and Frank keeps getting in the way.
Frank.
You can tell right here that Frank does not belong at that gala, just by the way he's dressed. The gentlemen around him are all wearing black tuxedos, and he is wearing a white one.
I don't bloody believe this, or I get them all out of here.
You shouldn't. I can't, I'm sorry.
Oops. One moment. This camera angle right here shows Alexander Pierce the significance that he doesn't belong with the people around him. He is wearing an inverse color scheme, and he's also placed in the center of the shot. That's not to do with color, that's more of character placement, but you can tell that he definitely does not belong where he currently is. Moving on, colors can signal changes. It's usually within a main character, and it can show internal changes which are emotional, psychological, such as coming of age or maturity. External ones can be physical or relationships with other people. Color can be used to show a breakup or a marriage or a character growing up. And it can also be an environmental change where the entire environment and setting changes. Isn't It Romantic is a 2019 film starring Rebel Wilson, directed by Todd Strauss-Schulson. Her character has a very low self-confidence, and her life gets transformed, literally.
It's just a movie. You see, Natalie, life's not a fairy tale. Girls like us don't get that.
But why?
Well, look in the mirror, doll. We're no Julia Roberts.
Every day is payday. Swipe my card, then
What are we talking about?
Natalie's saying that romantic comedies are bad.
All those movies are lies. They're terrible pop songs.
I think people would have an easier time seeing you if you were a little more open.
Hey, I'm Jack.
Natalie.
Give me the purse!
Why does this shit always happen to me?
Before I show you the rest of the trailer, I want to point out that her environment, like I discussed in the first part of this PowerPoint, is dull and gray, which represents her internal struggles with herself and her outlook on life. And then
Where am I?
You're in the emergency room.
This isn't an emergency room. This is at Williams-Sonoma.
Making my way downtown.
It looks like somebody's put a beauty filter across New York City.
911, what's your emergency?
Someone's broken into my apartment and they've taken everything and replaced it all with much nicer stuff.
So your emergency is that your apartment is too big and you have every shoe you could ever want.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
I think I might be going crazy. I hit my head really hard and I woke up in this alternate universe. And now I have a gay sidekick who's setting gay rights back like 100 years.
I love working the legs.
Jesus! And guys looking me in the eyes.
You're quite beguiling, aren't you?
Oops. So her environment completely changed. You could tell that everything went from those dull, dark colors to very bright, vibrant colors. A lot of them are oversaturated to show the significance. And as her outlook on herself and life changes, the colors also indicate that. Colors in movies can also be used for aesthetic purposes. They can help create an atmosphere, create depth, again with that cool versus warm colors I discussed earlier, and also with complementary colors. And you can just make it interesting to look at. and captivate your audience. I have shown a romantic drama, a thriller, action thriller, a comedy, and then I also want to show that this also goes with animated movies as well. This is Brave, which is a 2012 animated film from Pixar, directed by Brendan Chapman and Mark Andrews.
No one knows how we came to this land. A land filled with magic and danger. That's my father, King of Dumbroch. Then there's my brothers. We devils, more like. And there's my mother. She's in charge of every single day of my life.
A lady rises early, doesn't stuff her gob, does not place her weapons on the table.
Oh, Mom.
She just doesn't listen.
Pretend I'm Merida. Speak to me. I don't want to get married. I want to stay single and let my hair flow in the wind as I ride through the glen, firing arrows into the sunset.
Places, everyone. Each of the firstborn must compete for the hand of the fair maiden.
Oh, that's attractive.
Show a little decorum.
Feast your eyes.
Give us a turn.
I can't breathe.
Oh, shush. It's perfect.
I'll be shooting for my own hand. Curse this dress.
Don't you dare loose another arrow.
So Merida has bright red frizzy hair, and that is a compliment to her clothing, her environment, which are all earthy greens and browns. Her eyes are also a compliment to her red hair. Her father and brothers, as you saw in the trailer, also show that depth. This last trailer I'm going to show you is The Greatest Showman, which is a 2018 film starring Hugh Jackman, directed by Michael Gracie. And I want to show all of the things I have talked about being implied in this one trailer.
Can I have your...
So right here, before I get too far into it, you can tell that his environment is very gray and dull because he isn't having an internal struggle with himself, and that he's not happy with the life he's giving himself and his wife and kids. He grew up poor, and he wants better for them.
Attention. You're all dismissed.
Bankrupt.
Better luck with your next job.
I am not a stranger to the dark.
This is not the life.
Whoa, whoops. Going back, I hit the wrong button. I don't know why it's working, I apologize. I wanted to show this certain scene, and it completely froze on me.
We don't want your broken parts.
Right here, I wanted to show the atmospheric colors, like I discussed earlier, which was the more gray-toned blues, purples, blacks. You have a little bit of reds in there just to offset it, but you can definitely tell that this is a city, and the colors help show that even more.
Life I promised you. Not even close.
We don't want your broken parts.
Girls, I think I've had an idea.
Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat.
Right here you can see that the clothing that they're wearing is much richer, much brighter in color, and that is signaling a change that is about to happen for all of them, going from a life of poverty to a life of luxury, and showing that change is well done.
P.T. Barnum, at your service. I'm putting together a show, and I need a star. Every one of us is special, and nobody is like anyone else. That's the point of my show. Ready? Showtime.
So you could tell as he becomes friends with the Carneys and accepts the crazy, wild, beautiful diversity of everyone, that those dull colors become bright. Zendaya's character has bubblegum pink hair and a bright purple dress. The bearded lady has a teal dress. The colors become much more bright and vibrant. And then when P.T. Barnum puts on his signature red coat, you can tell that he is the star of the show. Literally, he is the ringmaster. This scene here shows his wife's character